Welcome to beautiful Mānoa Valley. I've had the good fortune to come to work here most days for 47 years now. So this is my professional home for sure. As is the case, Tamara gave me a set of talking points which I will conveniently ignore, thank you, since you've heard all of that already. But like the governor, I'm actually pretty intrigued by the topic. So I'm going to wax on a bit about how your work affects me in my work and my life. And I won't repeat the aspects of it that the governor hit on, but my own journey to appreciating the importance of trauma and healing is really both personal and professional. Pretty much every day in my professional life, I have to make a decision. Not as many as the Gov, not necessarily as consequential, but I think what leaders face is that every decision we make that is hard, and if it was easy, somebody would have already made it. But if it's hard, it hurts someone, whatever you decide. And for me personally, that's one of the hardest parts of the job, is the extent to which I'm creating trauma or exacerbating trauma by whichever side doesn't agree with me about what I do. And that trauma can be episodic if I just denied tenure, or it can be intergenerational if it affects the Hawaiian people. So I just want to mention three examples. We're in Hawaii, and those of you who are not from Hawaii, I think will learn a lot while you are here. If this is your first time, but this is a place where both the land, the Aina, and the people, the Kanaka Maoli, have really suffered intergenerational trauma going back, depending on how you count, 125 years, 150 years, 200 years, and those impacts of colonization and erasure of culture and language are felt to this day in most Hawaiians. And there are many opinions on how to heal all that, but there's no real consensus. And I think that is the only way the healing will come, is if we come together as a people to understand how do we heal that trauma, certainly for Hawaiians, but for all who call Hawaii home. Governor talked about the wildfires, and that's something that we all live with even today. Pretty much every day or every week, part of my job involves dealing with somebody, a family, or a situation created by those wildfires. And I just want to pick one aspect of it, and the governor has really captured how it touched the whole social and economic fabric of the island. What does recovery look like? What does healing look like? And it's not just getting people back into a house, but what is the future of an amazing place called Lahaina? And when you think about healing Lahaina, it boggles my mind. Are we trying to put it back to the way it was before contact? To the way it was before, when it was the capital of a kingdom? When it was a whaling hub? When it was a plantation hub? When it's a tourism hub? Some combination of those. And to me, healing, the kinds of things that you are working on, has to be about crafting a future that's based on all of that works for us today, not recreating something in the past. The last situation I want to mention is the one that every one of us at a university is coping with today, and that's probably the second or third most significant protest movement in higher education in the last certainly 60 years. And students and faculty on all of our campuses across the US and in many other countries are crying out for a response and for solutions to the trauma resulting from just brutal inhumanity in both Israel and Gaza. And most of the cries that we hear, though, are to address the trauma by declaring, I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong and I'm right. But fewer voices are looking at how we actually heal this situation, which again is so rooted in history and tragically, two highly interconnected peoples that have each endured much, depending on when you want to start counting again. 8 months, 20 years, 80 years, 150 years, centuries since Moses. You can start at a certain point and try and get back to something, but none of that will get us to a healed future. And again, I hope your conversations can help with some of that. And that's without even depressing you to talk about climate change and its impacts, especially on Pacific people, thousands of whom will be coming right here in just a couple of weeks as we host the Festival of Pacific Arts here. So let me just close with a brief mention of an approach that we're trying here on campus. It's called Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation. It's an initiative led by Dr. Punihei Light, who is director of our Native Hawaiian Place of Learning Advancement Office. And it's grounded in Hawaiian knowledge, and its ultimate goal is to jettison the belief that underlies so much trauma in this world, the belief that some lives are more valuable than others. And quite simply, if we could conquer that, we'd be very, very far along. So you can Google TRHT Hawaii if you're interested. I am unlikely to be with you here after this evening, but I hope and trust that your philosophizing that takes place over these next days will help create insights for all of us who spend our time making decisions and hopefully healing more trauma than creating it. Aloha.